This book is documented proof that God speaks to his people. The author, Clement, opens his heart and his life to share with you some of the most incredible principles of hearing God's voice, as well as many actual events in his own life that verifies what he says. The book, Call Me Crazy, But I'm Hearing God, will open a whole new world of the spiritual realm for those of you who have never heard God's voice before. But it will enhance and hone your hearing abilities if you hear God only occasionally. Here is Clement talking about hearing God's voice.
I wrote a book which is being released in October, which is the book that Larry King asked me to write 3 years ago, and I took 3 years to write it. It's called Call Me Crazy, But I'm Hearing God. And in the book, I try and get people to understand that every human being was created, I'm talking about your physical being, to hear God. Not with your ears only, not with your eyes, but your entire being. Because the sound of God is saturated by the physical being of a human that is spiritually alive. So you won't hear
Charles,
with a Charlton Heston voice. We have these preconceived ideas about how we're supposed to hear God. One of the worst things that you could ever do was fan the flame of the priestly anointing inside of you and kill the fire of the prophetic anointing inside of you. Because everybody in this building has those two wonderful aspects within inside of their spiritual makeup, and that is the priestly and the prophetic anointing. And you may be sitting there with your jeans on and stuff and saying, you know what, this is another day and age. Why should I even talk about a priest? Because it is a very holy calling that God called you to do in order to get near to him. But what we do is we run to a prophet for a word. There aren't enough prophets on the earth to give you words. God sends me to presidents, to senators, to prisoners. I flew to Hawaii just the other day just to meet with a prisoner. God told me to go. Prior to that, I just been to a dinner with Sean Hannity with a word from God. Yes, I will boast because I tapped into the prophetic side long ago. And people say, what if I make a mistake? You will. Oh, yes, you will. Thank God you're not under law, but you're under grace. Say, whew. You start with yourself. So I wrote this book called Call Me Crazy, But I'm Hearing God. And Larry King said, when you've written that book, we'll get you on because there's so many psychics that are being represented. We want to get a prophet on. But he says, I don't understand anything about prophets. He said, every prophet we've had on is a screwball. And he said, so you may be one of them. So I want to see something in your book that will entice me. Then he asked me the question, do you know where Saddam Hussein is? Saddam Hussein hadn't been caught yet. I said to him, if I did know, I wouldn't be telling at this table, because you will have it on CNN tomorrow night. And God honored me and favored me to tell me that they would drag him from a hole over the Christmas season. I got the word. Somebody said, when you got the word, what did you do? What did you feel? I had to tap into the wild side. I had to vacate the priestly anointing just for a moment and realize that this is what my whole being was telling me. He could have been dead. He could have been anywhere. You have that same power. Now, you're not going to leave this building saying, we got a great teaching, because there's going to be more than just a teaching or whatever I'm doing right now. It's going to be an impartation. I want you to move away from inferior communications for a moment. Inferior communications are dreams and visions. They're great, they're beautiful, they're scriptural, but they're not the best that God has. Now let me tell you why. God always desired to speak to you face to face.
This book will change your life. Resist the system that tries to silence the voice of the Lord in your life. He has so much to say to you, if only we were able to listen. Order Call Me Crazy, but I'm hearing from God. Order it online or call the toll-free number on the screen. And remember, as always, all Destiny Image books are available at bookstores everywhere. Thank you.